It is Mindset Monday. I guess it's technically afternoon because it's noon now. But anyway, I am super psyched to talk to you today. I am coming to you from outside on a balcony. Look at how this is the balcony I'm sitting on right now. Absolutely love it. I love taking a minute to just chill out, peace out, relax, and that's what I'm doing today because some stuff has been coming up around things that work and things that don't work. And I thought about this in terms of what I keep hearing from people about what's not working in their job search. And I wanted to share it with you today because it can definitely impact the way you do your job search. And then, of course, I read something in a book where I was like, all right, I'm throwing out what I was originally going to say, and I'm just going to tell you what the book said because the book said it in such a way that it was profound. And the book that I'm reading from today is called Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. And it's all related to mindset and I'll read the passage and then I'll explain why. So this is the part of the passage that I'm starting with. So how do you shake off failure and shame in order to keep living a creative life? First of all, forgive yourself. If you made something and it didn't work out, let it go. Remember that you're nothing but a beginner. Even if you've been working on your craft for 50 years, we're all just beginners here, and we shall all die beginners, so let it go. Forget about that last project and go searching with an open heart for the next one. Back when I was a writer for GQ magazine, my editor-in-chief, Art Cooper, once read an article I'd been working on for 5 months, an in-depth travel story about Serbian politics that cost the magazine a small fortune, by the way. And he came back to me an hour later with this response: "This is no good, and it will never be any good. You don't have the capacity to write this story, as it turns out. I don't want you to waste another minute on this thing. Move on to the next assignment immediately, please." Which was rather shocking and abrupt, but holy cow, talk about efficiency. Dutifully, I moved on. Next, 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 always next. Keep moving, keep going. Whatever you do, try not to dwell too long on your failures. You don't need to conduct autopsies on your disasters. You don't need to know what anything means. Remember, the gods of creativity are not obliged to explain anything to us. Own your disappointment, acknowledge it for what it is, and move on. Chop up that failure and use it for bait to try to catch another project. Someday it might all make sense to you why you needed to go through this botched up mess in order to land in a better place. Or maybe it will never make sense. So be it. Move on anyhow. Whatever else happens, stay busy. I always lean on this wise advice from the 17th century English scholar Robert Burton on how to survive melancholy. Be not solitary, be not idle. Find something to do, anything, even a different sort of creative work altogether, just to take your mind off of your anxiety and pressure. Once when I was struggling with a book, I signed up for a drawing class, just to open up some other kind of creative channel within my mind. I can't draw very well, but that didn't matter. The important thing was that I was staying in communication with artistry at some level. I was fiddling with my own dials, trying to reach inspiration in any way possible. Eventually, after enough drawing, the writing began to flow again. Einstein called this tactic, write this down, Einstein called this tactic combinatory play, the act of opening up one mental channel by dabbling in another. This is why he would often play the violin when he was having difficulty solving a mathematical puzzle. After a few hours of sonatas, he could usually find the answer he needed. Part of the trick of combinatory play, I think, is that it quiets your ego and your fears by lowering the stakes. I once had a friend who was a gifted baseball player as a young man, but he lost his nerve and his game fell apart. So he quit baseball and took up soccer for a year. He wasn't the greatest soccer player, but he liked it, and it didn't break his spirit so much when he failed because his ego knew this truth. Hey, I've never claimed it was my game. What mattered is only that he was doing something physical in order to bring himself back into his own skin, in order to get out of his own head, and in order to reclaim some sense of bodily ease. Anyhow, it was fun. After a year of kicking around a soccer ball for laughs, he went back to baseball, and suddenly he could play again, better and more lightly than ever. In other words, if you can't do what you long to do, go do something else. Go walk the dog, go pick up every bit of trash on the street outside your home, go walk the dog again, go bake a peach cobbler, go paint some pebbles with brightly colored nail polish and put them in a pile. You might think it's procrastination, but with the right intention, it isn't. It's motion. And any motion whatsoever beats inertia, because inspiration will always be drawn to motion. So wave your arms around, make something, do anything, call attention to yourself with some sort of creative action. And most of all, trust that if you make enough of a glorious commotion, eventually inspiration will find its way home to you again. So I use this passage because the inspiration is really powerful. And if you are noticing that it's not working for you right now in terms of applying for jobs online and you just feel completely uninspired and demotivated, the thing to do is walk away, close the laptop, find something else to do something else for a while that will create inspiration in you again, whether it's like giving 100% at your job or 150% at your job, whatever it looks like for you, or maybe it's painting, maybe it's coloring, maybe it's being with your family, whatever that looks like for you. But being in that motion in a new direction gives that part of your mind some time to relax, take it easy, but like it's not giving up, right? It's choosing from intention, as Elizabeth Gilbert describes, to move in a different direction for a while with the intention of finding your way back to what you want. And you might be surprised with what you create in that moment. I remember that in a moment when I was really not sure of what I wanted to be doing in my career, I went into capoeira. And capoeira is a Brazilian martial arts. It's so much fun. Highly advise trying it if you've never tried it before. And it gave me the space to do something different for a while and be in an energy of physical motion and enjoyment and connection in a new way while I figured out what I wanted to do in my career. And it was such a powerful way of like just changing over what I'm doing, focusing on something else and being grateful for it and enjoying it. And then when I came back to my career, I made the decision that I wanted to make, which was to leave. And I was able to make it from a place of neutrality rather than a place of upsetness, right? And it's because my inspiration took me there, and I found new pathways by having new conversations with people, some of whom liked their jobs and some of whom didn't. And I didn't know that capoeira was going to help me do that, but capoeira did. It gave me the guts to do what I wanted to do. So I wanted to share that with you. Thanks so much. I love you guys. Bye.